The little boy called his mother and father. On that day, the monsters killed his entire family, and he vowed to become an adventurer. Skills: the power given to weak people by the gods to fight monsters. Typically, abilities appear at the age of 12. The task of the adventurers is to reach the 5th rank and fight the monsters to protect the innocent people. Heroes are given glory and honor. He also dreamed of being the same. He prayed to God that he would give him strength, even if it would be strange, but let him be able to protect others. But this dream was not destined to come true. A message appeared in front of the boy. Is it a skill? He joyfully ran to the abbot, shouting that he finally had a skill. But he did not please him, because with such skills he could never become an adventurer. It sounded like a bolt from the blue. A group of people were heading somewhere. The guy with the red hair was urging Chrome on. He assented to Ash that yes. He was in a hurry. Ash specifically hired him, inept, so now he asks Chrome to be at least a little helpful. Chrome's skill is called Resurrection. Resurrection skill. When you are on the verge of death, you can only come back to life once. In other words, he can only come back to life once. For adventurers, a skill is like a weapon. His skill is a one-time use, and he is also completely useless. Therefore, he could not become an adventurer in any way. Although he did not become an adventurer, he works with them. Chrome is something like a 6 that accompanies other, stronger adventurers. Although he is an errand boy, he prides himself on being able to contribute to the defense of his country. Ash heard that this kid was abandoned by his own little sister, as she had great magical potential. Others, as Ash told it, laughed and said that it was Tin. The hero of this story laughed nervously. There was a strange sound, and as soon as they turned around, they saw a monster with red eyes. Everyone except Chrome began to shout out their skills. Plasma armor skill, super strength skill. Soon the monster was defeated. For their level, these enemies are like bugs. Imps are difficult to outwit, but weak to direct attack. Ash ignorantly ordered Chrome to collect the loot. He had no choice but to obey. He clenched the red stone into his fist. Soon everything was ready for the return journey. The guy was holding a card. He noticed that if they didn't follow the set route, it would be hard to get back, and of course he alerted the adventurers. But Ash only yelled at him, arrogantly expressing that as such as he dares to reproach him. He ordered to shut up and hurry up. A drop of saliva fell on the floor, but they did not notice it. Chrome's eyes were fixed in horror on the ceiling of the cave they were about to enter. Hundreds of red eyes hung from its ceiling, which looked at the travelers in unison. The second adventurer exclaimed something about being in a den of cannibals, but they were just demons. They must hide. Ash hit one imp in the face, saying something about how he likes this, calling him trash. But even such a self-confident person as he understood that there were too many of them. On top of that, they were very hungry. Ash's face was confused at first, but then he grinned wickedly. Chrome didn't know what to do. He tried to resist, but he couldn't. His level was too low. Hearing approaching footsteps, he turned around. Ash towered on the ledge. He was still smiling maliciously. The guy held onto a small step. A little more and he would definitely fall into the jaws of demons. He called Ash, but he did not want to lend a helping hand. He laughed at him, saying that even if he died once, nothing bad would happen. They wished him good luck with his resurrection skill and ran off, leaving Chrome to certain death. Resurrection in the den of cannibals won't work. Even if he resurrects, he will die immediately. The monsters roared in anticipation of dinner. One of them had already bitten Chrome's hand. Hurt. He's in a lot of pain. Is that how he dies? He lay on the cold floor of the cave in his own pool of blood. Follow the pitch darkness, a blue glow appeared. The resurrection skill has been successfully activated. He opened his eyes, but then closed them again. He is alive. Was he able to resurrect without problems? But how will he survive in the den of cannibals? He opened his eyes, looked at his hand. Instead, there was bare bone. What? He looked at his reflection in the sword. Instead of a face, there was a bare skull. Why does he look like this? He slowly got to his feet and examined himself. Chrome tried to speak, but only a hollow cough came out of it. He can't even speak. This must be a dream. You need to check the skill bar. Race, personal, level, first, HP, 7, MP, 1, rank, E, attack, 3, protection, 2, magic, 1, agility, 2. Skill is not received. His 9th level was gone. And this race, Lick, a soul that was reborn with evil magic dwelling in the bones of the deceased, sufficiently strong body, but weak in attack and brainless. In other words, a walking corpse. Are they bullying? He can actually think, so he's not brainless. He remembered his mentor's words that this skill, though special, was useless for an adventurer. Now Chrome understood that this skill was very rare, so he did not know all his abilities. Is he invulnerable now? Became some kind of monster in the dungeon. He lay back on the stone. Yes, don't care. This body is as useless as dead. No, he's already dead. Only the bones remain. Even if his life was not sugar, but he wanted to help his country. And what did he end up with? He examined his bones. Chrome remembered his companions and their deed. He risked his safety and got dumped and left here to die. An image of a girl popped into her head, saying that if he stayed with her, he would be in more danger, that he had better leave. As painful as it is to admit, perhaps his sister was right. If he could, he would cry. You can become a better adventurer if you are lucky enough to have skills at birth. Chrome has long understood this. The realization came to him suddenly. He stood up abruptly. No, it is not true. Monsters also have evolution. The higher the level, the stronger they become. Even the look is changing. Perhaps if he continues to level up, Chrome will be able to regain his human form someday. And even then, he will definitely be able to become an adventurer and get an S rank. He presented the picture when he had already regained his appearance and achieved everything. That made his eyes sparkle and his cheeks turn red. He had a purpose. But liches are pretty weak monsters. Will Chrome be able to level up? No, unlike other liches, he can think. Lich, a soul that was reborn with evil magic dwelling in the bones of the deceased, sufficiently strong body, but weak in attack and brainless. In other words, a walking corpse. He has no other choice, he must at least try. Due to the appearance of the guy, ordinary monsters will pass him by, because in their opinion, he died a long time ago. He knows the area, so that plays into his hands too. And all he needs is to collect information from the environment. Race, Goblin. Level, 4th. HP, 9. MP, 5. Rank, E. The green monster with the club did not suspect anything. Glancing back, he noticed the arm bone on the floor. Panic began to take over him. While he was standing still, I picked Chrome up to him from behind and plunged a sword into her. The goblin fell. Operation was successfully completed. 3 experience points gained. Level upgraded from 1 to 3. Chrome was able to defeat a monster with a higher level than him. Of course, because he is not just a monster, he is able to think of how he is superior to others. He needs to reach the 5th level in order to evolve. Race, personal. Level, 3rd. HP, 9. MP, 2. He has already died once and is not going to die again. Chrome will definitely raise its level. A large green monster covered in slime made nasty squelching noises. Race, goblin slime. Level, 1st. HP, 5. MP, 2. Rank, E. Chrome cut him down with his sword without any problem. 1 experience point gained. Gave very little experience. Still, his lie down and play dead strategy won't be as effective soon. He's got to get stronger eventually. If experience points continue to be awarded, he will not be pumped over in 10 years. The skeleton took the sword, leaning against the wall, sat down and closed his eyes. Well, at least this body does not need sleep or food. Although, if he does not at least sleep, he will lose the remnants of humanity. Yes, to tell the truth, there is nothing there. Also, because of being in the dungeon, Chrome was completely lost in time. Has it been a week since his rebirth? Or 3 days? Or maybe 2? Or has it only been half a day? Sister, Carmia, I wonder if she's worried about him. It so happened that Chrome did not appear at home for several days, and she did not care at all. She said that it would be dangerous for someone like him to travel with her, that he had better leave. No, she probably doesn't even think about him. Well, that's enough. Maybe it's because of the gloomy dungeon. But if he continues to think in this way, he will definitely go into depression. He would like to get out of there. But until he leveled up, you shouldn't even leave this place. In the distance, a roar like a dog's was heard. Race, red-eyed. Level, 7th. HP, 17. MP, 11. Rank, D. Chrome immediately pretended not to be alive. But the dog just roared past, red-eyed. If the guy defeats him, he will definitely get several levels at once. Only this dog surpasses him both in strength and dexterity. Well, yes, if you compare the 3rd and 7th levels, it will be so. Will Chrome be able to defeat him at all? No, he will succeed. He's not a mindless corpse, after all. He will use tricks to overpower him. It's good that he believed that this guy was dead and showed no interest in him. Thus, you can study his habits by watching him from afar. Interestingly, this is his territory. Chrome scratched the wall with his knife, but the red-eyed man paid no attention to it. Well then, when the dog approached the things, the skeleton had already managed to lie down next to him. And now this animal is already interested. He started sniffing things. At that moment, the boy silently stood up and stabbed the dog with his sword. He knew it. All he had to do was pretend to be dead next to the bags, and he would immediately decide to check the area for food. But he did not take into account the fact that both would fall down from the ledge. The dog landed, but was not dead yet. It had to be finished off. The fact that Chrome consists of bones gives it mobility and lightness. Red Eye was a good opponent, but his song is sung. The dog resisted. He even bit off the enemy's hand, but now they will definitely kill him. Dying, he continued to growl. Chrome won. Damn it, he did. 11 experience points gained. Level up from 3rd to 5th. He also reached the maximum level. It's unbelievable. He made such progress in just a few days. Moreover, his new body helped to increase the level. He reached the nearest body of water, somehow instinctively, but he understood what needed to be done in order to evolve. His bones glowed. His first evolution. His body is changing. Soon this light covered him. He is getting closer to human form. In the water surface, he saw and knew himself, with long pointed ears, bony but covered in leather. Ghoul, the demonic form of a corpse-eating demon. It has sharp claws and fangs, but its biggest advantage is its ability to regenerate. What? Ghoul, small body, long facial features. Yes, he definitely becomes more human. And the hand that the dog chewed off is fine too. Apparently this is due to evolution. Race, Ghoul. Level, 5th. HP, 22. MP, 6. Rank, D. Attack, 9. Protection, 5. Magic, 5. Agility, 5. Skill, Regeneration. The parameters have become much higher and finally a skill has appeared. Regeneration. Chrome finally got a useful skill. Although he did not want to become a monster for this. The Ghoul has a maximum level of 20. He was going to level up and evolve again. At least some happiness in this sad place. We must continue in the same spirit. But he has no choice. He must level up in order to evolve and become a human again. And then the strongest adventurer in the country. A huge beast with long teeth and claws attacked. Race, Monster Mouse. Level, 5th. HP, 18. MP, 9. The monster grabbed the blade of the sword, causing Chrome to pull the weapon towards him. It looks like it's hard for him to hold the sword. The claws get in the way. The giant mouse poked the guy in the chest with its claws. Ooh, the Ghoul jumped back, clenching his teeth. It was necessary to urgently come up with something. He launched the sword at the monster, which he did not expect, and he came up from behind and I plunged my claws into her. The creature was dead. He will have to kill monsters with his bare hands. Gain 7 experience points. Level up from 5th to 6th. Wow, he even managed to level up. Although, its evolution will not be soon. You need level 20. Race, Ghoul. Level, 6th. HP, 13. MP, 7. Rank, D. Regeneration. He put his hand to his stomach. In this place there was a scratch left by the mouse. The wound healed instantly. Being a ghoul is than being a lick. As he was about to leave, he looked back at the body of the already dead monster. His stomach growled. Now he feels hungry. With a sword, he cut off one of the mouse's hind legs, sat down and began to bite into the flesh. It's the meat of a dirty rat monster, but he's so hungry that he can't resist the urge to eat it. It seems that Chrome has finally become a monster. No, on the contrary, he has become more human, because now he feels the need for food. He has become even closer to the goal, so he does not intend to breathe from hunger. A couple of days later, he stood in front of a monster that was twice his size, if not 3. Race, Orc. Level, 14th. Rank, D. Chrome hit some pig-faced monster on the head. 33 experience points gained. Level upgraded from 13th to 14th. And he still continues to successfully raise levels. Great, keep it up. Thanks to the regeneration skill, he may not even come up with battle tactics. Maybe it's because of race, but Chrome still does not feel tired. In the meantime, he had only 6 levels left to raise to evolution. Race, Ghoul. Level, 14th. HP, 44. MP, 9. Thanks to his new strength, he leveled up quite quickly. Chrome is now even stronger than its former self. He was then only the 9th level. Maybe in the next evolution he will become something more human. The Ghoul sat down on the floor against the dungeon wall. He remembered his sister again. I wonder how she is there. They used to be very close, but the last few years they have lost all contact with each other. Because of his skill, Chrome never became an adventurer. He had to become a guide for others, earning a pittance. What can I say? He could not even provide for their family. Unlike Chrome, Carmia was able to awaken a magic skill and became an adventurer. As she risen to C rank, he perfectly remembered that morning when he approached her and said that everything was wonderful. Because he himself was not even up to rank D, but what she answered horrified him. She said that being a weakling, clinging to the ridiculous dream of becoming an adventurer, he looked too pathetic. She said that such an untalented person would be better off living an ordinary life. An untalented brother and a promising sister. As soon as Carmia became an adventurer, she began to look down on Chrome. They began to communicate less. The guy began to linger at work, feeling insignificant against her background. Does she care about Chrome? The guy himself thinks no, of course not. The Ghoul looked down at his hands. Even if he came to her in this form, she would immediately finish him off. He can't even speak properly. The guy tried to say something, but only different A's came out. It's worth starting to practice your speech skills. And he began to train. Sounds were heard from the depths of the dungeon. Is it a goblin? No, it doesn't sound like it. Chrome went to the sound. There were 3 silhouettes at the corner. People. Yes, these are not just people. There is Carmia. It's a dungeon near their city. But why did she even come? The guy was standing around the corner out of the company's line of sight. But if they see him, he's finished. He must leave now. Carmia asked if the healing potions had run out again. to which the guy, stammering, hesitantly apologized and confirmed her guess. The pretty girl, the last of their group, said it was good that Carmia had taken extra potions on their trek. She herself answered arrogantly that this was the foundation of the foundations, that if they were bitten by a monster, how else would they save their lives? But the girl was not timid. She replied to Carmia that this was not so critical. In any case, when injured by a monster, you will not turn into a monster, so the potion can save a person. But even this did not pacify her. They say, it doesn't matter how you can trust someone who has not properly prepared for the campaign. The guy who was with them was not satisfied. Because he responded to her sudden request, she could be at least a little grateful. But he himself agreed to go on this campaign. Moreover, human lives are at stake. He must understand this. Chrome at that moment thought that apparently she behaves like this with absolutely everyone. She's right, of course, but damn it, she could be gentler with people. Because of all these thoughts, he accidentally slashed his claw on the wall. The sound echoed over long distances. Crap, the trio would have heard that sound anyway. They thought it was a monster. Carmia used her skill, Ice Arrow. Her skills are based on ice magic. The girl created a magical seal. Chrome seemed to be paralyzed. He tried to move, but he couldn't. The adventurers approached him, saying that he was just a ghoul and that he was not very strong, although he was tenacious. Crap, and what should he do now? And yet they surrounded Chrome. Race, ghoul, level 14th, rank D. And worst of all, it was Carmia and her friends who discovered it. Lena Reline reminded everyone that ghouls have the ability to quickly regenerate. Yes, this is exactly that pretty girl. She was at the 15th level. Derek Ding, who was level 14, added that they all needed to attack together, then the monster would definitely not lie. Carmia brought a drop of reason to these proposals, and the truth is, if they strike thoughtlessly, he will attack in response. The success of any battle lies in attacking and defending against monster attacks. It is foolish to rely only on your own strength. Bad things Chrome. He would not have coped with one person, but here there are 3 of them at once. Wait a minute. Level 18. When did Carmia become so powerful? He needs to distract them and escape. Derek was going to turn the ghoul into embers with his skill. His skill is flame coating. Lena ran away, shouting levitation. What speed? The blow of her sword hit Chrome on the arm. He won't be able to deflect me from this guy's punch. And if he ignores this acrobat, he will die immediately. He can't be distracted even for a second. Immediately there is a gap between their levels. But he can't escape. He will have to fight them. He didn't want to, but he didn't have a choice either. Derek was already swinging his sword, saying something that clearly meant his quick victory. But Chrome is not a mindless monster. Unlike a monster, he can think how to win. The ghoul kicked the stone with his foot, so much so that it flew off to Derek's sword, to which the man grunted angrily that how such a damn geek dares to throw stones. After this, Chrome stood up to him face to face. The man did not understand why it was done. After that, he sharply hit Derek in the face with his elbow. And his claws are truly deadly weapons. And now, while they are still confused, the best solution is to leave. Chasing monsters in the dungeon is not safe. If he runs away, then it's best to leave him alone. Derek called him a carrion, and Lena decided that he would not leave and chased after him. If she was chasing him, he would need to stop her before she could use her skill. She almost caught up with Ghoul when he maneuvered, turned around. Thanks to the regeneration, Chrome will be able to take her direct attack. He took the blow of the sword on his hand. After that, while the girl slightly loosened her grip on the sword, he grabbed it and threw it down from the ledge. She had no choice but to watch him fall. The ghoul chuckled. Unexpected turn of events. Ha! Ghouls are not as brainless as they used to think of him. Page 4. Carmia said the name of the skill, after which large blocks of ice rained down on Chrome. Crap. These ice flows hit him right on the legs, causing him to fall to the ground. Crap. His legs, as expected of the Snow Queen Carmia. And Derek really wanted to kill the ghoul himself and finally raise the level. But he acted like an aggressive jerk, for which he paid the price. If he had been more restrained, he would have won immediately and they would have avoided all this unnecessary fuss with a simple ghoul. The Chrome was still flat. If he doesn't do anything, he'll die anyway. He tried to get to his feet. He can't even get up. The bones suffered, and the muscles came to an end. Carmia almost knocked his legs off with one blow. But he was lucky. He had a useful skill in his arsenal. Regeneration. Standing on all fours, he couldn't get up anymore. He clenched his teeth. Of course, he will recover, but he will not last long on his feet. He will only have enough to escape. Carmia raised her ice staff. Only one chance. He only has one chance. She began to speak. This time, she used an ice trident. If he doesn't run away now, Chrome will be killed by his own sister. She began to speak. This time, she used an ice trident. If he doesn't run away now, Chrome will be killed by his own sister. Until his leg fully regenerates, there is nothing he can do. And attacking her head-on would be stupid. She immediately uses her magic. Think. If he gets attacked, all you have to do is pray that the regeneration will heal him completely. If only he remembered the way he practiced speaking. Now he grabbed his throat and tried to say her name. And he did it, in syllables, but it worked. Carme. The girl stalled and the ice trident, which was intended for Chrome, fell very close. Derek immediately began to resent how she could have missed from such a distance. The trident struck very close. A little more and the guy could say goodbye to life. He was lucky that he could even pronounce her name. This saved him. She didn't know why it happened. By this time, Chrome's leg was finally fine. She tried to say the skill again, but the ghoul didn't lunge at her, causing her to jump back. Chrome ran further away from people. She landed on her ass. Damn, she must be in pain. Did he scare her and run away? He's too smart for a monster. Derek again started talking about how she could have missed the monster and what was wrong with her. Undead. A human corpse that was resurrected after death and turned into a monster in a dungeon. Two images immediately popped up in her head, a ghoul and Chrome. She'd heard of it, of course, but it couldn't be. Chrome had already run away to a fairly safe distance, so he crouched against the wall. He was breathing heavily. He needed to catch his breath. It was close. Just a little more and it's over. He was unlucky enough to meet high-level adventurers. Now Chrome thinks that using skills is like manna from heaven. That regeneration is such a cool thing. He needs to avoid encounters with adventurers and focus on finding monsters. Who would have thought that he would meet his sister in the dungeon? He hadn't seen Carmia walking on them for a long time. He usually took her with him for reconnaissance of the territory, but she quickly raised her level and stopped going anywhere with Chrome at all. All this is in the past. Now he must avoid them like fire. The ghoul peered over the ledge, looking after the departing company. Did Carmia and his friends decide to go the other way? Then he should go in the opposite direction, so they definitely won't meet again. But stop, that side is the deepest part of the dungeon, and are they going to go there anyway? Ordinary people are not able to stay in the dungeon for very long. The human body is different from the body of a monster. People will not withstand the local conditions. For people to stay here for a long time is a death sentence. The body is depleted very quickly due to the magical pressure in the air. A trip to the dungeon is always good planning. Often adventurers take with them guides who offer them safe and fast routes. If they go further, they will definitely die. But if he tries to stop them, then this time he will definitely be killed. If only he could watch them from afar, it might work. The company, meanwhile, stumbled upon a dead body. The corpse of the adventurer, apparently, was cleaned out and even money was stolen. What an abomination. Carmia walked around him and led the others on. The guys were surprised at how she still wants to go after that. And even to the words that it could be dangerous, she replied that this was not her first trip to the dungeon. She offered to continue the path according to the original plan. On the other hand, they are prepared enough to go further. Does she still think she's the leader here? What a bad habit of putting yourself above others. Chrome also wondered why they still wanted to go. The deeper you go, the more monsters you meet. Most monsters live in the depths of the dungeon. Unlike humans, monsters love places with a huge concentration of mana. But this is not always the case either. Anything can happen in a dungeon. Therefore, you should always be on the alert and not take risks. Chrome expected Carmia to not be so direct, but why would she risk her life so much for? There was a loud thud and a howl coming from the corner. Crap. Race, Ogre. Level, 22. HP, 96. MP, 28. Rank, C. Damn, Chrome just thought of that. Monsters of this level are usually found in the depths of the dungeon. But he appeared much earlier than his habitat. The monster bared its teeth and threw a doinka club on the shoulder. Race, Ogre. Level, 22. HP, 96. MP, 28. Rank, C. Horror reigned on the company's faces. The strongest of them, Carmia Clank, was only level 18. Even so, the girl stepped forward. And what is she going to do? They have too much difference in levels. They cannot defeat the ogre. Chrome thought that he should help them. No, this is a bad idea. He's just a monster to them. If it does, it will only cause panic. He can only watch them. Derek panicked. He asked what they should do now, but he said that it was impossible to go further. But Carmia imprisoned him, because with the help of magic they save even with an ogre of this level. Moreover, there are much more of them and they can work together. Derek didn't like it. He doubted they could handle this mountain of muscle. But if he tries to escape, the ogre will catch up with him and kill him. No choice. Reluctantly, he said the name of his skill and rushed towards the monster. But it was not there. He was pushed away. He couldn't even get close. Lena decided to try her luck next. She also shouted out her skill and ran towards the enemy, but he waved her away with his hand like a bug. He knocked her down just by pushing him away. How strong he is. Carmia decided to use ice arrows. One such arrow hit the ogre right in the hand, but he immediately intercepted it and crushed it in his fist. His skin is so strong, even ice magic won't take it. This is bad. These guys are certainly strong, but they just don't know how to work in a team. Why did Carmia even decide to go so deep into the dungeon with them? Carmia, she had no choice. She would have to use the most powerful spell. If that doesn't work, at least they can escape. However, this spell has a short range and can be easily dodged. Lena and Derek must distract him so that he does not pay attention to the ice sorceress, and then it's not real. They won't be able to strike him. They lack strength, agility, or magical power. If this continues, they will all die in this dungeon. Carmia yelled at them to distract the monster. After all, if they stand still, she will not be able to do anything. Carmia cannot afford to die in a place like this. They still have a chance to win. Derek can't believe she still wants to fight. What, is she crazy? Yes, she has a great skill, but it's useless right now. If he tried to run away now, the ogre would catch him and finish him off. But thanks to Carmia, the guy grinned nastily, sparing something, called Lena and began to whisper something to her. Chrome wondered what he was doing. However, after that, they attacked the monster. But it would be more convenient for Carmia if they lured him even closer. But this is probably the maximum. It's risky, but she'll try to strike with the ice trident now. Derek at the same moment was also going to do something. He called Lena. This is something they were going to do together. The girl used levitation. Carmia did not understand what they were going to do together, but she was only told not to be distracted at such a moment. Are they going to leave Carmia at the last minute and run away? Carmia was diligently trying to do something. It's time to use the ice trident. The ogre roared something until an ice block flew into it. Happened. What? Apparently it didn't work. The monster grabbed Carmia and threw her far away so that she hit hard and roared. Derek, trying to escape, screamed that it was her fault. She herself decided to go so deep. Although they warned her, she will not find her brother in this dungeon. He must have died long ago. Chrome, who was about to run out of his hiding place, stalled. What? Before passing out, the girl whispered that that's why Derek went with them. He's such a weakling. And also about where he is, her empty-headed brother. After she fell asleep, the ghoul began to eat eye with the ogre, which he did not expect. He slashed it several times with his sharp claws. Chrome has moved back a bit. Forgive him, such a fool, Carmi. Once again looking at his sister, he stood in front of the monster. From now on, he is your opponent, Thug. Chrome stood in front of the monster. Race, Ghoul. Level, 14th. HP, 44. MP, 9. Rank, D. The enemy bared huge fangs. Race, Ogre. Level, 22. HP, 96. MP, 28. Rank, C. The ogre swung his club. The main ghoul managed to jump back. Not only is Chrome losing to him in terms of level, but the thug's arm was also torn off, but this did not affect his strength. More importantly, if he loses, Carmia will also die. So the guy can't just run away. He bared his teeth, and then slashed the monster in the stomach, leaving a serious wound there. While the wounded man was examining deep scratches, he grabbed an ice block that was still lying nearby, swung, threw it and hit the enemy directly in the head. The ogre was about to strike with a club. Chrome took a hit on his hand, after which the limb was broken and apparently not in one place. He then thought that if he was attacked from the side of the torn-off arm, he would have a chance to somehow harm the monster, but the ogre looked at the ghoul with a smirk that meant superiority, a taste of impending victory. The task has not become easier. Even without one arm, he is much stronger than the guy. He won't be able to get close to the monster's blind spot. He needs to come up with another plan. The ghoul fled. The ogre roared and swung his club, but Chrome ducked in time and rolled across the floor right under her. It's still hard for a brute to move with only one hand. His attacks have no effect because the guy is much more agile. Although his stamina is not eternal, however, if he continues to hit in the blind, he will quickly get tired. And apparently this moment has come, as he was breathing heavily and loudly. Even if Chrome was reborn as a monster, he is still human, and people are more stubborn than this ogre might think. The brute lost his patience, howled and gaped his toothy mouth. For him, who lost his arm, fangs are the only weapon he can use to stop this kid, and Chrome just waited for this when he ran out of patience. The ghoul was captured in the mouth, but he was not at a loss and allowed only his hand to be taken into the mouth. He will sacrifice his left hand. It's worth it to give him the death blow. And the guy jumped back, but, indeed, without one arm. Hitting him in the chest would be a bad idea, and you can't go through his head, but get into his mouth and hurt him from the inside. The ogre was clearly not expecting this. After that, with his sharp teeth, he bit into the goblin's neck. The monster growled and resisted, but after a few minutes lay defeated and dead. 128 experience points gained, level upgraded from 14 to 18, and yet he overcame him. Regeneration itself restored his wounds. The hand returned to its rightful place. Seriously, this skill is incredible. It would be nice if he showed up before Chrome died. He looked back at his sister, who was still passed out. He apologized to her, thanking her at the same time. Even though she looked down on him, he still worried about her. The guy wanted to be an adventurer, but he can't even defend himself. Trom put Carmia on his back and carried her. More importantly, now you need to take it out of the dungeon. After walking a little, he noticed a weapon on the floor. Stub. Isn't that the same sword he threw in the dungeon by any chance? He picked it up and examined it. A roar sounded from deep within the caves. The two adventurers turned around in puzzlement, seeing the ghoul and the girl. They thought something that was not really there. They were screaming for the monster not to come near her. They chased him off. Chrome had to run away to stay alive. Because of the noise, Carmia woke up. The adventurers immediately leaned towards her, asking if she was okay. But the girl did not know where she was. The men explained to her that a ghoul had attacked her and she had lost consciousness. But her last memory was of an ogre, not a ghoul. So, someone brought her to this place and also saved her from the ogre, the one who carried it on his back. Memories popped up in my head of how Chrome used to wear it like that. But now it couldn't be. One of the men noticed a sword lying nearby and asked if it was Carme. She looked at the weapon in bewilderment. It was not hers. It looked like a brother's sword. The words "wait for me, Carmia" were scratched on the other side of it. Brother. At this realization, tears welled up in her eyes. She sadly hugged the sword. Carmia, one day you will definitely meet. Chrome continued to run farther and farther away from the place where he met the people. He must continue his journey and one day he will definitely become a man. Race, Ghoul. Level, 18th. HP, 27. MP, 2. Rank D. Chrome was chasing small monsters. Race, Cannibals. Level, 14th. HP, 12. MP, 13. Rank D. They can't run away from him. 15 experience points gained. Having caught the prey, the ghoul ate it. The taste is rare and smells like rust. Its tentacles are like rubber. The skin is very dense, like metal, and the insides are rotten, like those of a dying animal. After death, Chrome began to eat cannibals who ate him. Tell him about it in the past and the guy would consider what was said as a cruel joke. Of course, he hates them because they ate him, leaving only bones, but he never wanted to become like them and devour them. Usually, monsters of the same rank do not fight each other, and people do not stay in dungeons for a long time due to the high concentration of mana. Okay, more importantly, he got level 18, race, Ghoul, level 18th, HP, 55, MP, 15, rank D. From Lick to Ghoul, he becomes more human. I wonder what his next stage of evolution will be. Will he be able to enter the city in a new guise? Well, it doesn't really matter now. Chrome has only 2 levels left before the next evolution. Only after it, his new evolution will not be very soon. If you kill only low-level monsters, then you cannot even dream of a quick leveling. On the other hand, he doesn't want to face C-rank monsters. He remembered the encounter with the ogre for the rest of his life. There shouldn't be C-ranked monsters here, so you can relax a bit. At that time, someone crept up to the ghoul from behind. There was a sound nearby. Damn, that was very close. Blue and yellow light appeared around. What? What is this power? What is his level? Race, Gargoyle. Level, 21. HP, 78. Mr. 34. Rank, C. A large skinny creature with wings appeared in front of him. It held a sword in its paws. Level 21. The gargoyle flew at Chrome, causing him to fall back. But he was not hit. But this is impossible. In this part of the dungeon, there are monsters of the 20th level maximum. The monster opened its mouth, which began to form a purple headlight. The monster opened its mouth, which began to form a purple headlight. He growled, and then released from his mouth a fire of the same color. The ghoul was doused with this flame. Damn, he must be in a lot of pain. While Chrome was trying to return, the gargoyle attacked with a sword. Crap, it streaked across him. He barely dodged the sword, but she managed to wound him. While he was distracted by a slight injury, she threw him back against the wall. Not only does she spew fire and blind the ghoul with it, she also flies without making a sound. He slowly got up. He defeated the ogre with the help of Carmia, but now, even if his level is much higher, he can't take that kind of risk. He had no choice but to run. The gargoyle flew after him. How fast she is. The gargoyle continued to fly after Chrome. While she was very close, he managed to hit her in the face. But this did little good, he could not even scratch her. She surpasses him too much in skills and level. The ghoul continued to run, but an abyss appeared ahead. The monster again breathed fire, so much so that the guy stopped seeing anything. The gargoyle rushed at him and flew into the abyss with nothing. Chrome clawed at the sharp slope where the cave plunged into a cliff. He once saw a fight with similar opponents. He cannot be driven into a dead end. After all, he is a former guide. Indeed, the gargoyle did not notice him. While she was still close, the ghoul jumped on her and began to bite into the monster's flesh. Don't underestimate low-level brethren. And then, when she had already fallen, he began to finish her off. Has he won? 108 experience points gained. Level raised from 18th to 20th. His knowledge from a past life was still useful to him. Chrome's usual way would have been more than just defeating her. And although stop, the 20th level, Ghoul Race max level reached. The next stage of evolution has been reached. Finally, a powerful enemy that appeared out of nowhere did Chrome a great favor. But for starters, after evolution, Chrome wants to immediately see who he will turn into. Oh, how he wished he could finally be someone like a human. He approached the reservoir, and evolution began. The face began to take on a different shape. The arms became larger and stronger. He bellowed. A new stage of evolution has been reached. A mimic. Race mimic. Level 20th. HP 48. MP 9. Rank C.